Hi, I'm going to explain how to play every character currently in game so you can play the game properly. Hi, you're a survivalist and you're only probably playing them because you don't have any other character to play as. Or you're just weird. This character excels the most during Last Man Standing, and anything before that is just used to waste the killer's time. You don't have any abilities to necessarily get out of a chase, only really to extend them. Ghostburger sucks. It used to be good for Last Man Standing, but not really anymore, because it doesn't hide the highlight given in the beginning. So just use this passively if you don't want to be detected by any aura reading ability beforehand, or to avoid these things. You can try and make some plays with it, but unless the killer's blind, you're not getting away with it in chase. Blexicola is decent. Use it in Last Man Standing or whenever you're targeted for too long. It's not like the actual item it's based off, so the effect isn't too strong, but you're able to use this ability much faster and you're able to maintain the same walk speed, so it's pretty viable during chase. Slate Skin Potion is genuinely dog shit and basically doesn't do anything. Literally only uses near the end of Last Man Standing maybe, or if you have teammates working with you to try to help stun the killer. There are obviously more niche situations you can use this in, usually stamina related reasons, but yeah, it's too niche and also just not very useful. Overall, all you're going to do as noob is just waste the killer's time, which usually results in killers leaving you last, which is typically a dumb idea, because that's where noob shines the most. And 7 is played more for fun than to actually try win. The clones are the main appeal of the character. You can change how clone movements work with one of your abilities. I think Pathfind and Crosshair mode are pretty good. If you're not being chased, you can use a Crosshair mode to just fuck with the killer to waste your time. If you are being chased, I would use this whenever you lose line of sight of the killer, so they don't see when the cloning actually happens. I would recommend using Pathfind during this, as you're spending more time getting away from the killer than trying to fool him. The fooling is only temporary. All cool GUI does is teleport you across the entire map. It's slow, it's boring, but it is pretty useful, especially during Last Man Standing. Hope this ability gets completely changed in the future though, but yeah, it's all right. This fat, pregnant bitch can effectively force the killer to always respect their attack radius, and killer disrespecting the attack radius usually results in a really easy stun. Do not be predictable when using the sword. Try not to do it around corners, because that's where killers are probably going to be paying attention the most. Also, just get a feel for it, and once you do, you've successfully learned how to be a good Shaleski player. Good job. You're now annoying as fuck to go against. Oh yeah, you can also use chicken and get fat. The heal's okay, I guess, but something to keep you alive. Just don't use it in chase or else the heal will get interrupted. Just don't be predictable and you'll do just fine. Seen as the worst Sentinel, and it's quite understandable. The charge is okay when coordinated, mostly good in areas where elevation is seen, like stairs or even off cliffs. You can do some funny plays with it. The block and punch is decent, but it's too hard to consistently gain, let alone hit. If you are trying to get into guest, stop running towards the killer when blocking. In fact, stop running towards a killer ever. I don't know why, but most guest players just like playing suicidal and just running towards a killer. Stop doing that. It's not useful. You do not need to face the killer when blocking. Also, I would recommend immediately spamming your punch ability as you're attempting to block so you can easily get the parry hit. Overall, it's pretty punishable to miss a block and it's pretty hard to get it, but if you're a good guest player, you'll be almost, if not more annoying than Chudleski. The skill ceiling for him is considerably larger in comparison. People who think this character sucks at the game. For the most part, if you have 3 tokens and you shoot, most of your games, you're gonna do just fine. Just have good aim. Stunning the killer at close range is pretty good, but your best bet is to try shoot the killer at mid-range, where you're still interrupting chases, but not putting yourself into that much of a bad position if you miss or get unlucky. Very strong character, relies on RNG just a tad bit, but this character is overall just really annoying to go against. Commonly known as the Mosquito. 2-time genuinely might be the best Sentinel right now because landing trick stabs is really easy, and even just landing face stabs isn't really that punishable. And face stabs in general can be pretty annoying to deal against, especially when you're chasing someone else. If you're a good 2-time player, you should be incredibly annoying to go against, as trick stabs should be really easy to pull off. I think trick stabs are really rewarding, and they are fun to pull off, but almost impossible to react to as the killer. I think the concept of the dagger coming out frame 1 is really dumb by design, but that's just me. Oh, the crouch is also just like whatever. I'd say its only good use is just to avoid clones and minions, but I do think it pairs up with the stab very well if you use it immediately after you crouch for the extra lunge. It's what makes me think 2-time is a good support Sentinel. I don't know, 2-time to me just seems to have everything that other Sentinels have. They have a long stun ability, they're pretty good as a support due to crouch stab taking, and providing helpless and slowness on face stabs, and they have decent survivability due to lifesteal and a potential second life. Very good support. Gives immediate heals. You throw pizza and people eat it. try not throw it behind people, either where they're going or right into them. I think doing gen puzzles still increases your heal amount, which I personally think is really fucking dumb. Anyways, the rush ability is also really good. It's what makes Elliot actually impossible to kill, given you have teammates trying to help you out at least a little bit. If you find yourself being tunneled hard by the killer, keep spamming your pizza behind you or whatever, and keep using your rush ability whenever you have a good chunk of stamina to use. Also, just a small tip. Use the milestone 4 skin, as your pizzas become really easy to see as it's bright and almost impossible to miss. That is if you have the skin. Yeah, I think it's dumb how this skin is kind of play to win, but whatever. Hopefully in the future, all skins will have pizzas that are bright and or at least highlighted all the time. Builderman is a very good support. He plays dispensers and turrets. Dispensers are pretty good. Heals are slow, but they're still good. Now, if you know how to place turrets properly, you can legit become the most annoying survivor in the game. Place it in spots that force the killer to change direction at least a little bit to destroy the turret and chase, but not too far that the killer can just avoid it. You typically want to place it near loops so that survivors can punish the killer from not destroying the turret, effectively making that loop an infinite until the turret is destroyed. It's an aspect of Builderman I really hate, and it's one of the reasons why I haven't explained how to play them properly, because if I show it, and people understand how, it will ruin the game entirely. Very good support. You shoot beams that give speed buffs or debuffs, and you can cast a protective shield. I already made a video talking about how to play him properly in detail, but to keep it brief here, never be near the killer. Don't use the shield if the killer's coming towards you. Don't ever activate the shield if you're near the killer, because you'll just be punished and chased down with slowness. And make sure you're constantly using the beam out of chase. Basically, just never get in chase, and if you do, you should always have it that the chase starts from a very far distance, not up close. You fucking suck. I'm not even gonna explain how to play this guy. He sucks. He doesn't do anything. Anyone who doesn't think he's the worst character in the game, he is. Okay? He is. He sucks. Okay? He sucks. There is no potential with Taff. He sucks. You are not a threat to the killer, and you are not useful to your teammates. Plain and simple. Okay, onto the characters that people actually probably care about. Jason. I don't know how many quote-unquote texts there are for him, but being a good Jason player is just being a good killer player. His abilities aren't too crazy, aside from maybe Raging Pace, which is pretty good as a way to out-stamina a survivor or to negate stuns. I would recommend to only ever use Behead if you're low on stamina and just trying to barely get a hit, or to finish off someone who's clearly low on health. I think people say it's good for distance, but I personally don't really see it. Gashing Wound is a fantastic tool as a punisher, but I would recommend to only really go for it if you're confident that the other player has less stamina than you. If you're able to confidently out-stamina a survivor, it's best to not give them a chance to regain stamina, unless they're low enough on health to die from the ability. Use Raging Pace whenever you're low on stamina, and cancel it by lunging forward whenever you stop regaining stamina. Don't ever use the full duration of Raging Pace, it serves literally no purpose. You can technically use other abilities with Raging Pace activated, but the only good one is Gashing Wound, and it bumps up the total damage dealt from 50 to 70. Either way, this killer is less reliant on abilities and more reliant on general killer skill. So make sure you're always cutting off survivors' paths. If a survivor runs into a dead end or a corner or a general position where they are waiting for you to make a move, regain all your stamina first before re-engaging the chase. So if a survivor is in a corner and you don't have max, or at least most of your stamina up, walk and wait for either them to run to get out of the corner or until all your stamina is replenished. You do this to ensure that you could win the stamina game and kill them quickly. Other killers require this game sense to a degree, but Jason plays into it the most. Also, shut up, okay? Shut up about Jason's hitbox, okay? You're dumb. You don't understand how hitboxes and latency works on Roblox. His hitboxes are fine. Stop being dumb. This killer is portrayed to be the best killer in the game for reasons I deem incorrect, but his abilities are quite terrifying. Has a significantly slower walk speed than Jason, making it a bit harder to zone survivors, but the abilities and ability cooldowns is what makes up for it, I think. His abilities are incredibly powerful, but are much harder to land when the survivor is far away, making the killer incredibly threatening up close. Being hit with Corrupt Nature is, in most cases, just a death sentence, as the slowness you get is pretty significant and usually results in the killer winning the stamina game. Walk speed override misses can be very punishing, which is why most killers don't ever use it until they're very close to the survivor. However, it could still be used as a read or even as a way to recover stamina in chase, given the survivor doesn't change direction. There is some tech with cool kids such as wall sliding or hitting stars through walls, but these are niche uses of the abilities, and while they are cool, they aren't all that practical and come in play very few times, from experience anyway. Oh yeah, he has clones too. Okay, anyways, clearly nobody knows how to play this killer properly if people think he's weak. John Doe is an incredibly powerful killer with abilities that in a way bends the world to his will. His puddles can completely deny some areas or loops. Playing as and against John Doe, you'll know some good spots over time, but I guess I can show some good spots as I talk about him. His wall spikes when used properly can zone survivors' paths entirely, forcing the survivor to come towards you. And if you've learned anything about Jason, you'll know that you can use his time to regain stamina and close the distance as they sit there waiting for you to make a move. There is some tech with wall spikes, as you can face another direction to throw off survivors and surprise them with spikes after they're able to go a certain distance with shift lock, but best uses of wall spikes, unironically, will always be for zoning purposes and to deny areas, which, when paired up with his puddles, can be incredibly dangerous. I can understand why people might think he's weak, but that is genuinely just at the fault of your skill level. Also, his passive is fucking nuts, but it's being nerfed, I'm pretty sure. So lastly, we got Onex. Not much to really say about him. He's really strong, has little zone potential, mostly seen as a snowballer due to his last ability, which revives the dead and spawns minions, which is typically only really seen near the last minute or during last man standing. With his projectile abilities, it all just comes down to reading survivor movements. There was never any guaranteed hits with Onex. It's all just reading survivor movements. So if you can never guess where a survivor's going, you're never gonna hit him. A few things I can say is that glitched technically counts as weakness right now, which is why you'll often find yourself doing more damage against people with glitched. Also, do not even try use mass infection on entangled survivors if they are on console. It is so easy to get out of and it's dumb. However, if you entangle a survivor up close and then use mass infection, it's usually guaranteed damage. But not all the time. Either way, if you can read survivor movements, you'll probably love this killer if you practice enough and learn the travel time with projectiles and whatnot. Okay, thanks for listening. Goodbye. See you. Bye. 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 Bye.
What are you doing, man? Oh my god.
There's a bird coming.
Right.
It's not fair!
Yes!
What? All my teammates are chuds!
I can eat my victory. Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yummy, yummy. Not even close. This game is fucking easy. You guys are terrible.
Shut the fuck up!